You know, I've done some pretty difficult things in my life, from leaving home and joining the Marine Corps at the age of 18 to becoming a father in my mid 20s, and even recently moving to an entirely new state to restart my life. But nothing, and I mean nothing, is as difficult as finding only 3 reasons why the second season of Gen V sucked ass.
Right.
Okay, yeah, I'm kidding, obviously, but there are so many issues with this damn show that only picking 3 took me a lot longer than you'd think it would. Well, unless you were thinking it took me about 3 hours while I was constantly doing double takes in my oven and considering shutting my Winky in it again, because that would be less painful than thinking about this absolute disaster of a show. Genital mutilation aside, I figured out what I want to say. So grab your plot armor and allow me to illuminate you as to the 3 reasons why Season 2 of Gen V fucking sucked. Let's talk about it.
Say what again? Say what again? Say what again? Say what again?
Reason number 1. Marie Sue. do you see what I did there?
Shut the fuck up!
Now, I was actually on Marie's side all the way up to episode 6. Her backstory was somewhat compelling. The tragedy of her parents dying at her own hands provided some much needed personal growth, and putting distance on God Yu and her friends after the events of season 1 displayed some internal conflicts. But naturally, for every action, there's an opposite reaction, and in the case of modern Hollywood writers, that opposite reaction consists of the most stupid shit ever put on a piece of fucking paper.
Hold on to your butts.
In the short span of just a few episodes, Marie goes from a withdrawn, antisocial, incompetent shell of a person to a nonsensical, overpowered, stereotypical girl boss whose only flaws in regards to her powers is just not realizing how strong she actually is. Where have I seen this before?
Rey Skywalker.
It's Palpatine. God damn. Amazon just couldn't help themselves, could they? Sure, Marie was a bit paper thin as far as motive goes. She never shut the fuck up about her sister, but as far as being charismatic and relatable, I think she was pretty good in that department. But all of that changed when, out of nowhere, she was able to bring her sister back from the dead, revealed to be an Odessa Project baby just like Homelander, despite chronologically being at least 20 years younger than him, cured polarity of his seizures, and gave Kate her powers back, all within about 3 episodes of runtime.
Fuck.
And how exactly did she obtain all of these Christ-like powers? No fucking clue. She just trains a bit with Cypher, he talks a bunch of shit to her, and things start exploding in the presence of her omnipotence. Go fuck yourself, Amazon. Reason number 2. Everyone in this fucking show is retarded. And I mean everyone, including everyone's favorite assessor of racism, Sister Sage.
Einstein was a racist.
Racist?
Mm-hmm. He hated Chinese people. Just because he fought for my team doesn't make him not a racist.
You know, for being supposedly the smartest person in the boys' universe, she sure is a dumbass, isn't she? Sure, you were able to set up Marie's path to the promised land and becoming the girl boss she was always meant to be, but you weren't able to predict the egotistical, megalomaniacal, soup supremacist you've been sleeping with for God knows how long would go over the edge the first chance he could and start killing off weaker soups for the hell of it.
Are you retarded?
Just like I said in my episode review yesterday, we the audience have seen that shit coming for weeks now, but somehow Sister Smartass just didn't for reasons. And what was with the stupid shit she said to Polarity about him dying no matter what? Does she realize he can snap her like a twig if he wants to? Because her one-of-one superpower is being smart, and that's apparently very selective. As a matter of fact, why didn't Polarity just kill her when she was in the cell with him? Why was he even in there in the first place instead of, dead? Because he's a massive threat to Godolkin, and Black Noir had the perfect opportunity to kill him earlier. Speaking of perfect opportunities, Godolkin reveals that the only reason he can't take over Marie's mind is because she's too powerful. But at the end of episode 7, she's in the weakest state that we've ever seen her, and Godolkin just lets her leave. He doesn't take over any of her friends either. He doesn't take her over despite it being the perfect opportunity to. He just lets them go so they can regroup and recover so the rest of the plot can happen.
Really?
And by the rest of the plot, I mean them going toe to toe, where Marie has Godolphin on the ropes, but she talks shit long enough for him to come to, only for Godolphin to take her over, and he also talks shit long enough for Polarity to show up, and then Polarity uses his bullshit mind shielding power so Marie can kill Godolphin. What the what the fuck? Oh, what the fuck, man? And the thing is, the stupid shit I'm talking about is only in the last couple of episodes. I could make an entire video on the retardation of the show, but I don't have the mental capacity for it.
I'm tired, boss.
Reason number 3, focusing on boring stories instead of compelling ones. So tell me, what seems more interesting to you? Yet another girl boss recognizing her true power like we haven't got nearly 10 years of that shit by now? Or a Soup struggling with mental illness which blurs the lines of good and evil for him while he's trying to determine what's real and what's in his head? Would you rather see some expansion on how a Soup combats his seizures and intermittent loss of control of his powers, which can devastate entire areas? Or watch dumb fucking relationship dynamics that have as much depth as a kiddie pool play out? Or how about getting some backstory on easily the best character in this show, Cypher, and how he was put under the influence of Godolphin, which might have revealed the extent of Godolphin's power and how it worked, instead of a bunch of early 20s retards trying to decide if they hate a particular person or not, so they drag her along for the entire story until they figure it out. Well, if you picked any of the dumb options, congratulations. You might actually be a writer for this show. But for the rest of us, we wanted the more interesting storylines because at its core, this show did have some pretty thoughtful ideas rolling around in it, but it never focused in on them and instead used them to push the more boring main story forward. Like Polarity, who's the Soup who's combating seizures and blacking out, which makes him lose control of his power and damages any and everything around him. Instead of exploring how he struggles with not only this, but the loss of his son Andre, who had the same affliction, it's used as a catalyst to show off how much of a badass Marie is, because she just cures him of it with her super special Jesus powers. The same thing happens with Cypher and Godolphin, whose relationship is explained in a small bit of exposition instead of being a central focus, whereas there's numerous conversations about how the group doesn't trust Kate, but they also kind of like Kate, except when they don't, but who knows, maybe they'll trust her again, which they end up doing because Marie uses her special Jesus powers again to cure her. The writing in this fucking show is the equivalent of having a nicely cooked, perfectly seasoned steak on the table only to be more enticed by the steaming pile of dog shit on the ground. Well, that's it. That's my 3 reasons, and if you agree or disagree with them, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I don't believe in holding or deleting anything, but just keep it civil, and I'll make sure to meet you down there because I do respond to any and every one in due time. But simply put, I'm disappointed with Season 2. Season 1 wasn't the greatest thing ever, but it was at least entertaining enough to keep me invested, just to turn around and pull this shit the following season. Anyway, I appreciate y'all for checking out my video. I'll talk to y'all later.
Say what